So that brings us to the buffet station. So like we said, at about 10:45, you want to go to the back and let them make sure they're getting started and everything. So when they start bringing up food, they're going to be setting the metal tubs, these, right up here on this buffet station. So you just always have to keep an eye out over here, and you can grab them and come put them in. And then we put them in a certain order. We always have the spaghetti and the meatballs right in here. And we generally put a soup, and lately it's been the carrot saute right back here. We're also going to have fries, pizza rolls, and garlic nuggets. If the appetizer station didn't make a lot of pastas, we put them in separate basins. But since she made quite a few pastas today, what we're going to do is we're going to put garlic nuggets and fries in one container. It's going to go here, and the pizza rolls are going to go right over here. If we only have, for example, 6 or 7 items, we're going to cover up whatever the open space is. If it's a full thing, we cover it up. If it's a half thing, we cover it up. That rarely happens, but if it does, we want to make sure that we cover it. If we don't, the steam comes out, and this steam table can become completely null, because if the steam is escaping, it's not keeping it warm. It must be covered to keep it warm. In each container, we generally put tongs in the noodles, the saute, and the garlic nuggets and pizza rolls respectively. Everything else has a spoon or a ladle, for example, the soup. Use the plastic tongs compared to the metal tongs is because we do keep this very hot. So when you have metal and heat, it tends to get hot. We don't want any customers, or you for that sake, burning yourself when you just want to get some pasta. So that's why we use the black metal tongs. Don't take the the metal tongs from the back. Use these. If we're running low on certain items during the normal shift, you're just going to go to the back. Tell them they can make more. If it's a specialty item, for example, a pasta, like any of these pastas, the soup or the saute, if it's in the middle of a shift, yeah, they'll most likely make more. But if it's nearing 1:15, we generally won't make any more. If we have a customer request it, you can always try to work with the kitchen to try and get some out for them. But generally, we're not going to make any more. So what you're going to do, don't wait till it's completely empty. Once it gets to a little bit of an amount, you're going to want to cover it with one of the metal covers that were on the buffet before you came in. So the covers are going to be right back here underneath this counter in the back where the cake plate was, somewhere down in there. Just going to grab one of the half covers and put it right on. The reason that we're not going to restock these at that time is because generally we're not going to restock an entire thing for just a few customers who are in the dining room that are still getting buffet. If we refill every single one up until the last minute, we're going to have a ton of food waste, and that's one of our biggest goals, is no waste at all. So you don't want to waste all of that food that could be best used at another time. All of our specialty pastas, for example, we got a bow tie pasta in here, we've got the fettuccine back here. Oh, those are bow ties as well, but it's the Alfredo. The soup and the sautés, those are made from scratch. So it's not just a quick thing, like for example, the spaghetti and the meatballs we have simmering back there that we can just quick make, finish prepping, set it out in a couple minutes. These specialty made ones are made from scratch. So if a customer does request more, you do have to let them know that it'll be quite a few minutes, because they do have to remake it. It's not just something that they can just throw together and bring out. So it can be about 6 to 10 minutes for more pasta to come out if they do want more. So you have to make sure and communicate that to the customer, so we don't have a customer sitting there waiting and getting upset because their food's not out. I'll show you how we turn on the open sign. Like we said earlier, the open sign is going to be turned on from what we do is about 10:50 to 10:55. So what you're gonna do is you just come over here. This is right over here, right in the middle of the front, behind the counter. You're gonna have the hand washing sink here, the beer fridge to your right, and you literally just flip it up. There you go. One of the most important things about the buffet shift is constant communication, and constant over communication is our biggest thing. Always over communicate. Communicating with the kitchen is a huge part of working the buffet shift. You want to make sure that you have food on the buffet. So you don't want to wait until you completely run out of a dish before you go tell the kitchen that we need it. Once you have just a few pieces, say you have like 5 to 6 garlic nuggets, 3 or 4 pizza rolls, a handful of fries, you want to always make sure, if you completely run out, it still takes a few minutes for pizza rolls, fries, garlic nuggets to come out, and then you have an empty thing where a customer's waiting. You never want to do that. So always go to the back when you're looking low, not when you're out. So then you can get more food out before it runs out. Same with the spaghetti, but you're going to want to do it when you're probably about half full. For example, if a customer's eating garlic nuggets or pizza rolls, they're just going to grab a few and put it on their plate. For spaghetti, they're going to grab a couple of tongfuls because it's a dish. So you're going to want to make sure that you always have full spaghetti, full meatballs, and always check the cake. That is going to be the one thing that everyone's going to forget about always check the cake. When you're going back to the kitchen to tell them that you need something, you need to be able to project your voice. Whether someone's working on stretching dough or making a sauce or making something on the other side of the room, you want to make sure that they hear you. You want to go back there and yell what you need, make sure that somebody responds back to you, because if no one responds back to you and you just walk away, that's still on you for not telling them, because if they didn't hear you, they didn't hear you. You want to make sure that you get a response to know that they're doing it. If you need to, you want to make sure and also go tell the respective person. So don't go back there and tell the pizza maker that we need spaghetti. They're not going to be able to help you with that. You need to go back there and you need to tell the app station, whoever's working the app station at the moment. And you do also have to remember that quite a few of our staff members don't speak very good English, so you want to make sure that they understand what you're saying. So you need to say, hey, I need the garlic nuggets, or I need spaghetti noodles. They know what food is. If you tell them what they need, they know how to make it, but you have to make sure that they understand what you're asking for. When I say yell, I don't mean go back there and yell at them to do their work. I mean go back there and make sure that you're loud. We do have the vent hood, which is very loud. It blows air to make sure that everything's not overheating, and that's very loud back there. So you do have to make sure that you're projecting your voice. That's what I mean by yelling. So you need to go back and make sure that you're very loud, saying, hey, I need this, please. I need this, please. If you need to, sometimes it's easier to run back. You can even throw a pizza in for some pizza rolls if they're busy. It's not an issue. You're not going to get yelled at if you do that. But if you're busy, go back there, make sure that you're loud, and you project your voice to tell them what you need. In addition to making sure and telling the kitchen when we need things and keeping an eye on the buffet, you also need to go back and tell them when we don't need anything. It seems really over redundant, or I don't know, just seems like something that you probably wouldn't need to know, because I mean, if you don't need anything, you don't need to go back there, but you need to make sure and tell them, hey, we're good on buffet right now. A lot of the times you'll have back staff checking buffet if you haven't given them an update in a while, because they think that something's missing or they need to check. So to keep them from feeling the obligation to go do that and take them away from their jobs, make sure and tell them that we're okay. Yeah. If a customer makes what we call a special request, so that means that they want a specific pizza out there. What you're going to do is you're going to figure out what they want, whether it be just a basic malto meat or just a plain pepperoni, or if they want something special, like specifically, like they want to build their own pizza but they want it on buffet. So what you're going to want to do, if it's something strange or not a set pizza that we have, or not just a couple toppings, you're going to want to write it down. Make sure you go to the back. We'll let the customer know it's going to be about 6 to 8 minutes before they get their food. So yeah, no problem, we'll have that out in just 6 to 8 minutes for you. You're going to go to the back. You're going to tell the pizza maker this is what we need. If it's a strange one, like I said, you write it down and you can stick it up there and say this is for a special request. And you want to tell them, when this pizza is coming out of the oven, I want you to come tell me and let me know. So what they'll do is they'll go ring the food bell for you whenever that pizza is ready before they set it out. When the food comes out, you want to keep making sure, checking on it. When that pizza does come out, you want to grab a couple slices of it, set it on a plate, and go bring it to the customer. To follow up with this, you do want to make sure and remember which customer requested it. So you want to make note of any shirt color, special characteristics, I don't know, beard, tattoo, anything that you can figure out to make sure you remember what customer it is. When that, like I said, when it does come out, you want to put a couple pieces on a plate and bring it to them. Not only is this just good service, but it also stops the issue from you going up and telling the customer, hey, your pizza's ready, so they can go up and get it. And in the meantime, 8 people came and took all their pizza, which, believe it or not, has happened before. So you want to make sure they get a couple slices before the rest of it gets eaten. It's just common courtesy to make sure that they get their food. In this section, we're going to be talking about communicating with our customers. Okay, if we have customers standing around the buffet area, just looking around like they need something, you always want to check on them, see if there's something specific that they need, any specific pizza they want out there. If they're standing around because we're low on pizza or we're out of pizza, you want to make sure and tell them, hey, we have quite a few pizzas in the oven coming out for you. It'll just be about 5 to 6 minutes before we get those pizzas out. And make sure and ask them, hey, is there anything specific you want to see out here? Now that we're putting fresh pizzas in, this is a customer's opportunity to ask for whatever they want. So always just make sure to see if they need anything. As well, while if they're standing around waiting for pizza, if we're almost out, or a dish, you're always going to want to apologize to them as well. So when they're bringing out the food, when you're saying, hey, we have a few pieces in the oven, it'll be out in less than 6 to 7 minutes. I'm very sorry about that. It will be out just shortly. But thank you for your patience. Is there anything specific you want to see out here? That sort of thing. All right, if a customer lets you know that we're out of some type of soda syrup or, I don't know, cake, ranch, anything like that, just say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll go grab that for you right now. Give me 1 moment. Generally what I like to do, if it's like cake or ranch, I go cut a couple slices of cake, put it on a plate and give that to them, because it's going to take a good 3 or 4 minutes for me to go cut more cake and bring it out. So I just cut a couple slices, give it to them while I'm refilling the rest of the cake. Same thing with the ranch, give them a couple cups of ranch while you're refilling the ranch bottle. As for the soda, you just go back there, quick change the bib and come back out. We'll show you how to change the bib in a separate training. 10:45 to 10:50 right now, so like I said, around 10:45 to 10:50, you want to make sure that we have pizzas, pizza rolls, all the appetizers getting ready. For example, here you can see she has the fries in the fryer already, so that's not a problem. And we do have 2 pizzas and pizza rolls, you can see right in there, coming out right now. Like I said, we always want to have 3 pizzas. So once there's enough room for another pizza, we're going to throw 1 more in, and when they're ready, they're going to be put out on the thing. So when we're a little bit slower, or we have enough pizzas out for the people that we have in here, we're generally not going to be putting more pizzas in because we don't have enough customers in the dining room for that pizza to be relevant. So if we're going to have a group of just 10 to 15 come out of nowhere, or even 6 to 10 come out of nowhere, you're going to want to make sure and go back to the kitchen and tell them, hey, we need more pizzas in the oven, or say, hey, we had a group of this many come in for buffet, so the kitchen knows to put more pizzas in. We always want to be stocked, whether prepared for the worst. It doesn't matter if we don't have a bunch of people coming into the dining room. You want to make sure that we're stocked up for them, and you want to make sure that the kitchen knows to get it in right away. The kitchen's not going to know that a big group has come in until they've finished swiping their card, filling out their screens, and they're already getting their drink and sitting down. So if we don't have enough pizzas out, they're not going to know to put more pizzas in before they finish paying. So generally what I like to do is get one of them started on paying, and then you run to the back, say, hey, I have a group of 10, let the kitchen take care of it. Or if you have 2 gems, which you usually do, say, hey, go tell the kitchen we had a big group come in, and have the other person run to the back. When a customer is paying for their food with card, when they swipe their card, what we do is they're going to fill out a few screens. There's a tip option they need to sign, ask if they want their receipts, rewards program page. While they're doing that, that's your chance to run to the back and say, hey, we've had a big group come in, you need to make sure and have enough pizzas in, so that way we have enough food for that group. By the time that they finished all paying, getting their food and sitting down, it's only going to be a couple minutes before we have enough food. So every 15 minutes or so, you're going to want to always check buffet to see what we need, of course, but you're always going to, every time you check buffet, always stir everything. You want to stir the meatballs, make sure that they're good. We don't want any meatballs uncovered. Some of them, just make sure they're stirred so they don't burn on the bottom, etc. Always stir the spaghetti and the pastas because they get dry. For the specialty pastas, I like to push them all to the front so they look more full. Because if a customer is coming up and all of it's gathered to this side toward them, they're not going to be able to see it. It's going to look empty. So always make it look more full by pushing all the pasta to the front of the basin. So this next section, we're going to be talking about when the customer is asking to take buffet to go. If a customer does want a buffet to go, so what you're going to do is just ring up a normal buffet, a normal drink price, if they want a drink. And so you're going to give them a to-go cup and 1 small box and 1 big box. And whatever they can fit in those 2 boxes, they get to take with them. Just let them know when you need a bag, you can come up and we'll get you a bag and any like a plastic fork or Parmesan crushed peppers that they want to take with them. We can help them with that. If they're gonna get water to go, give them a 12-ounce cup. We don't want to give them the full drink cup for water. We usually do a 12-ounce cup if they get water to go. If they get a drink to go, you give them a 20-ounce. And as for that with buffet to go, when I say 1 small box and 1 big box, I mean the styrofoam containers. We have a normal size to go container made of styrofoam, and then we have a smaller one that are going to be right up there behind the bar. You just give them 1 of each. When you fill up a bucket of dirty dishes, for example, you're going to be pre-bussing tables the entire shift. Every time someone finishes a plate, you're going to grab it from them. Once you fill up a dish bucket in the hallway, you're going to take that bucket of dishes to the back. You want to announce, once again, as for telling them what we need for buffet, you're going to be projecting your voice. So, hey, I've got a bucket of dishes that I'm bringing back and I'm sending it right here, so they know, hey, they need to go do those dishes and bring them out for buffet. Usually what they're going to do is they're going to let you know when there's dishes ready. Always keep checking the back to see if there's any clean dishes. You can bring them to the front as well. Like we mentioned earlier in the video, your job as a morning shift, we have 2 gems, so it's your guys' job to do all of the gems' jobs. So that's gem 1 through 5. As for gem 1, you're going to be taking orders, processing the payments, getting them cups, receipts, all of that jazz. You're also going to be getting carry-out orders, checking on anyone who's sitting down in the dining room who you haven't taken care of yet. Any bartending that is possible. If you are old enough to do bar, you will be serving alcohol as well. That's both of you. As for gem 2, you're going to be running food, pre-bussing, bussing tables, wiping down tables, making sure buffet is stocked. Gem 3, you're going to be answering the phones, taking phone orders and delivery orders, or possible call-ahead orders. Whatever comes in through the phone, that's your job to do. Gem 4, once again, checking on customers, pre-bussing. Pre-setting if you do need to, but we generally don't have very many dine-in orders in the morning. It's mostly buffet. But if you do have to, make sure and pre-set, get their plates for them. Jump 4 also goes and checks, make sure anyone needs any drink refills, anything you can possibly do, just checking on the customer in general, making sure they feel welcome. Jump 5, you're going to be on the expediter tablet, which is a separate training, so you will be learning how to do expediting, but for every ticket that they get their food, you need to make sure that that's cleared off the screen, but you'll be learning how to do that later as well.